Well, good morning. It's Monday and it's time to take a little tour of our garden. Well, welcome back. So this past week we did some planting for monsoon season. Not a lot because we don't have a lot of space, but we did get some things planted, and I actually got a little bit of video, so right now I'll show you that. Today Noah cleared out an area of rocks here, and so he's going along and making some holes because we're going to be planting Tepary beans. And they don't actually like to have very much water, like some water to get them going. But this is one of our, can I see the packaging, babe? This is one of our monsoon garden items that we're planting, and it's supposed to be one of the most drought tolerant plants in the world. So once it gets established, then we're just going to let the monsoon rain help it along, and if there's no rains, then we're going to let it wilt quite a bit before we actually do any watering. So girls, you want to go ahead and start, maybe put 2 beans to a hole just to maybe be set. Hey, and you want, does it have a little eye on it?
Yeah.
Okay, see, like, I think that's the, oh, where do you see the eye right there? So you want to plant these with the eye down.
Eye down?
Yeah, eye down into the hole. So,
like this?
Yeah, now push it down all the way with your finger. Maybe use your pinky.
Is this the eye?
No, the eye is the little dot in the body. See it right there, the little white dot?
Put that hole up. Have you done in this one? Nope.
Do like every other, and then you can kind of keep up with each other.
Yeah.
And Joe, you can actually probably skip like 3 and, you know, catch up to Noah and let her keep going. I picked this spot, like I said, because it's not going to get watered the same as all the other plants do. It's going to kind of be a drought area, if you will. And Solitary Bee Gardens from Instagram, they've got the website and blog growinginthe-desert.com, and they say that this is actually a plant that wants blazing hot sun, and that's the best place to get blazing hot sun. So we have almost got this row finished, where I don't know if I've got more beans inside, but we're doing these 2-inch deep, and we're going to do them 3 inches apart. And if we were going to do a second row, which we're not, you'd want to put those at least 1.5 feet to 2 feet apart. And so this is some bean planting, and we've got some more seeds over here on the plant, on the table, to get distributed also. And I want you to put a pot there, and I want you to put one here, and then put those.
One right here, and right here?
Yeah. Here, put them in here.
Ooh, these are pretty beans.
Yeah, they're the anasazi beans. They're kind of
cover
pink.
it back up?
Huh? Yeah, cover it back up.
Are those like corn, squash, and beans?
What, the anasazi beans?
Yeah.
No, they're just a kind of bean. We're going to try and get some more of these anasazi beans going. So that's what JoJo's planting right there.
So, hey Noah, what are you planting over here?
Cantaloupe.
That's nice.
Is it 2 beans, or how many beans are in there?
3.
How many?
3.
Okay, so why don't you make, just make 1 hole and put all 3 in there and see what happens. And what's that you're planting? You don't know?
Butternut squash.
There you go. That's exactly what it is. Okay, now May's gonna plant an Armenian right there. And did you cover it up?
No, I haven't planted it.
Oh, you haven't planted it yet? Okay, so just put 1 seed in there, and then we'll have, so then I want you to come and put a seed, like, right, yeah, no, more behind it, like, yeah, right there. And that's another Armenian. And then we put cantaloupe right over here in front of where the beans are. And I don't know, maybe for the heck of it, we'll put an Armenian over there too. So, Maisie, can you come over here? All the way around. And then I want you to reach all the way over to here.
Right here?
Yeah, right there in the middle, and put your last seed right there. All right, so there's another Armenian there, so be sure. We're putting bamboo sticks by these new seedlings so that we can remember. Okay, and just for the fun of it, and because maybe we could have more going on in this bed, we planted a blue Hubbard right there and another spaghetti squash there. So hopefully I can remember from this video and these little sticks everything that we've got going on. So now let's go take a little tour around the garden. And I've got to say that now that I've got my shade in place and I've moved things and I've switched things up around, but I really think that everything is starting to work together for the good in all the parts of the garden, now that we've got the right amount of shade and we've got things moved around in just the right places. So I can't wait to show you. If you remember, I mentioned to you last week that I felt like this bed was actually needing less sun and that it was needing some shade. And so I want to say about Tuesday or Wednesday we got this set up, and I promise you that the day that we did, it's like it literally just started growing that day. So look at this. I mean, this is getting so tall, it's wanting to come out the edge of the bed. All of these leaves are looking so happy. They're not curling on the edges in the heat. So a little bit of shade really made the difference for this little bed over here. Everything looks so happy, and now the sweet potatoes can be happy enough to start working on just branching out and spreading all over the place. So it's another win for the shade cloth over here. You'll kind of notice my shear is not nearly as long or as wide as I need it to be. So I actually had to add in another section here of shade cloth because I'd moved it where I thought I would get more sunblock over here on this side because that plant was looking sad. But then when I moved it, everything over there looked sad. So to kind of equal it out, I've got it about halfway down on both sides, and everything is looking a lot happier. We just pollinated this watermelon, and I'll show you that right now. Okay, so I just found this little watermelon over here, so I'm going to show you. These are harder than pollinating anything else, but I want to show you how I've gotten around to doing it. Okay, so come down here. So right here is the female. It's got the watermelon baby attached to it, and right here is a male, and there's a bunch of ants actually going in and out of it. So I'm gonna break off this male, and I'm gonna pull back the petals and get the ants off of me. And dang it, I didn't mean to do that. And now I'm going to go into this female, and I'm going to move this all over that female flower to get as much of that pollen in there as I can. And it's cool enough this morning that this pollen should be good and should get us another little watermelon there. And like I said, it's looking super happy. I pulled a bunch of lettuce out of the other bed, and so this is working as a really nice mulch. I mean, the soil is very moist in there. I put some lettuce over here, and this is not getting any bigger, so we're probably going to pick it here in the next couple of days, and we'll show you what that's like and just see what's inside of there. And the rest of the bed is now, you know, to a point of super happiness. This okra is looking lovely. Looks like something's eating up this wannabe collar that's grown on this branch. So I might have to cut that again just to get rid of that. This butternut is just loving life. I mean, happier than it ever was. It's crawling all across the bed. This thing right here hasn't, I mean, it makes flowers, but it's not doing any fruiting. Anywhere you see the bamboo sticks, you saw us a while ago, that's where we planted stuff. And the anasazi bean looks pretty happy. So we'll go over there and check out the spaghetti squash. The color's looking brighter. You want it to kind of have more of like that watermelon sound, and it doesn't, and it's still, you know, pretty green on the stalk. This tomato looks pretty great. I cut back the collard green and I actually harvested the leaves, and so I'll show you a picture of that right here. This pepper's looking okay. That one does not look that happy, and I don't know if it's a water light, but I'm not that worried about it right now. It actually, it's got some weird coloration there with the leaves. So, ooh, something's eating on it. See that? So, there's gotta be a worm. So as you can see, the kind of tomato garden has been disbanded. We built a shade structure for it last week, but I just couldn't stand it. Here's a picture of it right here. So now I have the most healthiest of my tomato plants up here on the patio. This is obviously the first cherry tomato that was up here already on the patio, and this is the great white. It's, you know, it's so healthy and it's doing great. And then this is the other cherry, and this is the Punta Banda. And since I moved these up here on the patio, even really in like the last 5 days, they have just really went crazy and they keep producing. So this was a good move for them, and the rest of them I'll show you in just a second kind of got dispersed over there in the shady area. So I cleared out the flower bed of everything that was kind of passed away, and I'm gonna drop a bag of cow manure right here, and then I'm gonna plant a lot of the smaller height sunflowers. And we put together this slope because of the shade. This plant was just kind of looking really sad in the evenings, and it's actually got, you know, like a giant, I don't know, it almost looks like a butternut spaghetti cross there, but it's also full of flowers down in there. And this Armenian's not getting any bigger, but that's what this little lean-to shade is just to give this bed a little reprieve. This sunflower is just trying to hang in there, but that's the thing that I remembered, is that sunflowers are heavy feeders, and a lady in my Facebook group used to always talk about giving hers a lot of manure. So this is another tomato plant that got moved up here into kind of the dapple light. The squash are just looking super happy over here, and I've also got this one. This is another one of my Cherokee Purples, I believe, and it just looks so beautiful. But everybody got moved over here that couldn't fit on the patio. This is still looking great. This right here, the spaghetti, is also got a baby over here on it, and it just loves being here. So I've got another tomato here, and then we put this one over here. So both of these get a lot of morning light, but then in the afternoon, instead of having to use shade cloth, they're just getting the natural blocking of the light. And you can see over here, there's some more bamboo sticks from things that we planted. We've got luffa, hopefully gonna come in right there. This oregano is, I saw some flowers on it yesterday, so I'm actually gonna get out here this afternoon and harvest this so that I can dry it. Flowers looking happy, mint looks wonderful. From the front of the bed, like the tomatillas and maybe some of the cantaloupe are just out like almost 2 feet. And the cantaloupe slash something else vining was touching the ground, so we put this chair here to kind of be a place for it to climb. The Armenian, oh look, there's some bee action. The Armenian's actually blooming again, so that's wonderful. Obviously the melons are just going crazy, and we put this chair over here to bridge the gap for vining melons also. Last week I forgot to show you this big one, but it's looking happy. Now the rest of the plant is kind of so-so, All of this kind of got burnt up and crispy, but this is still green, and we kind of have to let it stay there to support the baby. This okra is happy. This okra actually has some okra, woohoo! And it's got lots more blooms up there. This is, so I trimmed back a lot of the lettuce. There's just mostly this here in the middle. The tomato looks happy, and everything over here is just delighted. Let's see how this watermelon is doing over here. Oh geez, it's a lot bigger. So that's awesome. And like I said, if we looked, we could probably find a lot more awesome things in there. We don't have any action yet with the beans right over here, but we just kind of keep keeping it wet every day, and then once they come up, we'll just you know, let the desert take care of them. I almost forgot to tell you about this little baby right here. I actually harvested these two Cherokee Purples probably right after I did this video last week, and that's because I really didn't have a way to cover them up, and somebody on Instagram, theirs were about the same color, and the birds had ate them all up. So this is an amazing coloring, and I'd love to cut it open for you right now, but I need to wait for my husband. This one's obviously got a little wear on its split lines, so you know what, maybe I will cut this open first just to see if it's got some pretty colors inside. Okay, so let's check this out. I just love the rich colors that come into the Cherokee Purples. And see, this is that soft side that was on the split edge, and it's totally okay. So I'm gonna put a little salt on this, and oh my goodness, that was something to behold. So good. Mild too, not even as nearly as strong as some of my cherry tomatoes, so I'm glad that we did this together.
Is it a tomato?
Well, I hope you enjoyed that quick little tour and getting to watch the children plant a little bit of a monsoon garden for us. And believe it or not, I'm in the next week, I'm gonna start getting some seeds germinated for my fall garden. And you know, we've got this other pool over here on the other side of the sweet potato pool right now, and we've got to get that filled up with dirt because we're actually going to be in a little challenge with the East Mesa Urban Homestead. Our children are going to have a contest to see who can grow the biggest pumpkin, so we've got to get that emptied of all the little yard debris, and we're gonna have to start getting it filled up, because I think the best time in Arizona, they say, to plant pumpkins for like the harvest parties or your Halloween time of year is like July 4th. So I got to get that prepped and ready, and like I said, if I get my seeds going in the next week and get them planted up in another 2 weeks, you figure August is almost here, even though it's about the 1st of July, and then the next thing you know, it'll be time to plant for the fall. So I'm super excited and thrilled with how things are going in the garden. My husband Dale and I just keep lamenting over how different things are and how every year gardening has gotten better and better for us. So I just want you to remember that it's a lot of trials and errors, and you're gonna just get better and better, and you're gonna start to figure out things. Sometimes I know that I looked crazy because I'll just sit and stare at something like this sweet potato bed until I feel like it tells me what it needs, and that's, you know, might be shade cloth, or it might be some extra nutrients, but trust me, you'll get in tune with your garden and you'll know what its rhythms are, and things will just get better for you. So I want to thank you so much for checking in with us whenever you get a chance, and thanks for coming back around, and I hope you have the best day ever, and I'll chat with you soon.